anniversary pregame show. This is Jason Matters for Armergeist Sports. And on today's show, today's pregame show, we're going to start around 6 o'clock, which is about 25 minutes from now. We're going to have 9 matches, or at least 8 matches, or hopefully we'll get most of these matches in. Some of the matches that were delayed earlier because of injury are now available, and so we have all these matches that were there. 2 females will be facing off later on as the show begins. Contra will be in action. They will be facing off members of La Park in the Hildo Park. Devon Harris will be wait. Daniel Bryan will be facing off against Brian Kendrick. McIntyre will be facing off against Ibushi. Cody Rhodes with Omega on his corner versus AJ Styles and the OC. Or face off in the corner. That was supposed to be a match that was done last year. It's now scheduled for today. One of the bigger matches of the day, the semi-main event. Ronnie Oswald, our black man, will face off against Teddy Hart. The winner faces off Roman on November 26th for the 4th #1 contender spot. And then it will be and for the main event of the evening, Mr. Cobra, Trevor Darius, and Mr. Woman versus Valentino Dream, Keith Lee, and Maya Yim. That will be the main event of the evening. So we hope to end around this. Hopefully will last only about 2 hours, depending on what. And we will start a little bit earlier at 5:55 just to make sure we try and end it before the 8 o'clock spot has ended. Remember, the main event will go as long as possible, so everybody should be getting ready for those big matches. We're going to see it today. It's going to be absolutely crazy, just to be honest with all of y'all here. So there are some news that are coming out today, and we're heading towards the next generation of wrestling starting in the next couple of days. Actually starting today. Just one more second, folks. I'll be back. It'll be silent for a couple of seconds, but I'll be back. Yeah, we're just getting the copy machines ready. It's actually starting today. If you haven't been sleeping under a rock, a certain girl brand will be activated and finally become one of the mainstream brands. They called the brand NXT, and it will be facing off against the AEW Dynamite. If you know about Dynamite, it is one of the other names for TNT, which Monday Nitro, which was an ingredient in TNT, which is also called Dynamite. Just a side there for all of y'all to know about, and it was made by Alfred Noel, so what have you. So that is also a big match. We have a lot of big matches for all of you today. I mean, just like that. And so those big matches are also coming as well. I will want to remind you that episode 49 still hasn't been, a lot of the matches still haven't been set up, but I do know this, that Angelico and Jack Gavins will be in action against Show and Yo. That's on episode 49 on Fire Pro Wrestling World Fridays, but other matches will have to be announced as soon as possible. Six-man tag semifinals on the 27th. And then, of course, as we were talking earlier, Next Generation of Wrestling begins on October 2nd. It will be Fire Pro Champion Series 3 on October 2nd. Time will be scheduled for at least 4:45 time. And matches have not been set fully in stone, but there are a lot of matches being announced, such as Best Friends versus Kabuki Warriors versus QQ International with Flair Road in a three-way match. Hammerstone and Kitamata will be in action. Killer Cross will face off against Chris Dickerson in a very extremely rare match. Pateron A and Joa B with Katon C in his corner versus Retracade and Scott Shaw with Tsuki Mage in their corner. That match is scheduled for October 2nd. Jericho will face off against Lawler, and then the Brotherhood and the Von Erichs will be joining forces in a four-way match between three members of Contra and Sean Spears. And then we'll have more on episode 4051, depending on what happens today. And then it will be Fire Pro Wrestling World Series 4 on October 4th, starting right after Fire Pro Wrestling World Fridays end. We start with it is only going to be 7 or so matches. The Von Erichs will also be in action. The Undisputed Era will be facing off against Kingdom. Roman Reigns and Adam Cole will be facing off against Tanahashi and Takahashi in a tag team match. Then on October 9th, which is about a month or so, well, not really a month or so from now, but a couple of weeks from now, there will be the Mexico one, which will determine who will become the six-man title match, who gets the other spot in that six-man title match. And we will determine the new champion. AAA and SEMA will also be the first matches that will start up. Matt Taven will face off against Marshall Von Erich in a single match. LaPark and Son of LaPark will hopefully face off against Mace Warner and another competitor. Audrey Cabinas will be in a three-way action, and the semi-main event of the evening will be the Lucha Brothers versus RVD and Sabu in a no disqualification match. That is going to be interesting. And then we go to year 2, episode 1, starting on October 11th. That will lead us into the October pay-per-view, which will be on October 28th. Which will be on October 28th. To make this 27. Yeah, October 28th. Ronan will be in action in one of those matches. Jay White will be fighting against the wrestler that pinned him a couple of weeks ago. Rena Isis will face off against Faye Presley. Neil Merchants will face off against Brian Fleming. Von Erich versus Mr. Cora and Trevor Darius for the Tag Team Championships. This is a rematch. Retracade versus Pateron A in the IWPG Junior Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega. Remember, we haven't decided how we're going to handle who will be the 6 number one contenders for the 6, 7, and 8 number 1 contenders for the Heavyweight Championship. Everything has been in an extremely hard mode to figure out since then, but management is trying to get things into tow. It is believed that we will do the tournament possibly after the 9th. If nothing changes before the 9th, the 32-man tournament will start. 5 matches will be done each day until the final match. Until the final match was decided, we're thinking that it will either be that these matches will either take place before or after on Fire Pro Wrestling World Fridays, as those particular matches will happen. So 3 matches from the tournament will air on that time if things don't progress. The management feels that things don't progress the way they think they're going to progress, then they have to go to the IWPG Heavyweight Championship with the 6-man, with the 32-man tournament that will decide who will become 6, 7, and 8 wrestlers. And that 6-1, he will only have a couple of days rest before he faces off against Kenny Omega in that particular one. Now, Kenny Omega has 3 matches left, and then he gets to choose after Wrestle Kingdom who he's going to face. So it is very possible that he could face anyone if it comes open challenge or management's decision. But since he has reached that, since there is a possibility he will reach that point, it will be open challenge. My goodness, it's going to be absolutely crazy if a certain wrestler decides to come in. But that will be determined later. So a lot of these matches, determining on what they're going to have to start doing these soon. And they're saying that the 4th might be a possible open date for the 32-man, but it's going to go the way you think it's going to go. So they will try and get this finished before October 28th, and I know they can get it finished before October 28th. So they will get this finished way before October 28th. So they have a lot of time. The people who are doing this will have a lot of time before then and now before we can get that particular thing started. Alright folks, we're only a couple of minutes away. We just have to get some news done. First off, one of the news items that Desiree is going to the WWE. This popular Japanese female wrestler who has fought in Ice Ribbon and other places will be going into the WWE and has taken the contract, which means Triple H has started touching them cookies. And now with NXT now on the USA Network, he's beginning and Rio threatening to win the women's title. Everybody knows that it's going to be, you know who, pretty girl, not there, high energy, come get this cookie. But then again, Bianca Belair can hang with the rest of them. I'm not saying don't do this or that. I'm just saying there's many of them that are ready to hang with them. I'm not saying just one can hang. I'm saying it is what it is. Well, Cody Rhodes is forced everybody's hand. That's pretty much what it is. And right now we're at a situation where we could have an interesting situation where there could be, the ECW moment. You have 3 brands fighting and then a 4th brand competing. You're going to have a 5th brand, possibly GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, with some connections to the heavyweight, with some connections to Hollywood, infamously. And the question is, can they hang? That's the problem. But you never know. It could be that he might be with the Warner Boys. He might be with Tom Warner Boys, and they might set up a match with him and Stephen Arnett. You never know. Everything is possible now. But the question is, we also have bad news, and it also affects how the female tournament for, and we can now officially state that there will be a World Championship unification match, hopefully by Wrestle Kingdom, for the women's tournament. Two
Two of the women are out. One of them being Jaguar Kyoto, and the other being her rival, Utami Hachibashita. The Utami Hachibashita has a finger injury, and she is out at least 2 months, possibly early November. She won't make the tournament. Kayona will not be back. Separated shoulder, she will not be back at least 3 to 4 months. She won't be back until at least March of 2020. So, depending on how shit goes, but 2 big injuries, but you still gotta move forward. And one of the reasons you gotta move forward is because these things are ready and they gotta get it done. So, there's still great wrestlers fighting for these spots. They're not gonna quit. No one's gonna die. But there will be 2 more spots. There will be 1 more additional spot, and it will be determined later on in Five Pro Wrestling Fridays when we get a date for that particular spot to be open. So, Cherie's gone to the WWE. Others have been injured. Stardom gotta move on. Who will be the champion of their particular tournament? It is going to be very, very interesting to let you guys know. So, that being said, we're at 5:52. We're going to take a break, and I thank you for listening to this presentation of the pregame show for our anniversary show. We are on Instagram, and soon we might be on Twitter, but we don't know in what form and what shape that we will take it as. Every Friday, we will have Five Pro Wrestling Fridays with all the competitors that you love to see. And there's going to be some really interesting competitors showing up today. And I hope that you enjoy the anniversary show. We will start in about 2 minutes. Thank you for listening. Jason Matters will be back in 2 and 2 right after this.